Hi traders, I hope you're good. I hope you had a great week of trading. I wouldn't lie to you, this week was a really tough week, you understand, but we made it through and thank God for that. So I'm gonna do a review, right? Because you can actually see that the stocks are down, Nasdaq is down. So I'm gonna do a review why price went down so that you can learn from that, right? Because it's still going to happen many times. Even when price decide to start going up, it's still the same thing that is going to happen. All of a sudden, you see price pushing back up. All right. So first of all, let me do a little bit touch up on the call out that I did last week. So last week, if you paid attention, if you watched and took notes, I pointed out this other block here. This was my point of interest to see price push back up to take out this high. Then we'll decide to see if we going higher. Okay, price was around here before that. Anyways, I wanted to see price go higher and take out the high. But unfortunately, we had an SMT. All right. This is why it was so hectic. Why I said it was so hectic, because this high wasn't taken, but we had an SMT. So if we look at S&P 500, we can see that S&P 500 took out that high. All right. It took out the high before we had the SMT on this high. So this was one of the major reasons why price went down. But I won't lie to you, I actually ignored this and I still wanted to see price push higher. So I tried to pay attention for the pushing higher, but it didn't happen. So this was the SMT. So first of all, this was the first reason why we pushed down lower. And for SMT, you still need to see a fair value gap after the SMT. So everything was complete there. So this was the setup. And again, price was above, it started forming that above the new week opening, which was here, right? So new week opening, which was here. So if I wanted to be a buyer, I wanted to be buying from below here, which is what I did. I kept on buying this low. Then this second buy didn't take out this high. Then I saw the SMT. Then I slowed down on the buy. I had to slow down on the buy. All right. So this was it, right? And nothing else. This was basically it on 4 hour, because again, the weekly candle closed bullish. So I still wanted to see one push up, which was this. Then a continuation. Okay, what I wanted to see in price come down below this new week opening. Then I want to see some push like this. Okay, but it was declined so many times. They tried to push price high. Even after price came down here, they pushed price high again. Right, you can see actually took out this high. There was a high here, took out this high, manipulated it. Then this was where the weekly expansion started expanding from here. But it was a good week though, you understand. Nothing here that's one thing that you will know is whatever price does, right, it will repeat it again at some particular time, right? So that's why you always need to review after every week or after every month. You need to do some review and see what really happened, how you could have capitalized on those trades. Okay, maybe the way I say it might not be exactly how someone else will say it, but it still actually mean the same thing. You understand? Because come on, my English and English may not be the same. Okay, but I hope you understand what I mean. But if you don't understand, you can ask me on the comment section, and I will explain more to you. Okay, so based on another thing, this can just happen in a random place. Okay, price was at all-time high, right? And I said this in my last video that as price is at all-time high, there's only two things one must happen. Is either price continue going higher or it will continue going lower. And if it wants to continue going higher, what are we going to see? Okay, this black line now is all-time high. Let me take out this so that there won't be so many lines here. So if price is at all-time high, what do we want to see? We want to see either price displaced to the upside. You have to displace to the upside, okay, or it displays to the downside. But what do we have here, right? We can see some displacement to the downside, and we can see this SMT, right, and the fair value gap. Then price continue going lower, all right? This is the same thing that you will see when price decides to go higher. So I don't want you to go into the market on Monday and try to force this to go back up because you're like, oh, price has gone really, really down. No, that's going to be a dumb way to trade, right? Or even as we are all at all-time high, be like, okay, price is at all-time high, it must just sell. No, you have to see something that will tell you that price could sell because you don't know what this thing wants to do next immediately, all right? So you just have to analyze and see what it have to do first, then you follow, all right? So for the trades that I took, which I said I would talk about, the trade that I took, the sells that I took, which were the major trade, though I took some buys here, which price pushed up, which I closed, but we're not going to talk about that. We'll talk about the sells, right, which were the main trades, okay? So it was on Friday. On Friday, I took a sell from here, right? So when you see the signature in price, you can already see the signature in price here. They're already doing the manipulation plus everything that's been happening, this SMT, the fair value gap and all that. So when you're seeing this, and you can see that price wasn't able to close above this candle that formed this fair value gap, which is telling us they tried to push price higher, but it declined again. So we should knowing all this, okay, before you take your trade, excuse me, before you take your trade, there must be a narrative, all right? There must be a narrative. Just seeing the break of highs, break of lows is not enough. You want to see where is price coming from, what is it doing, what did it do before giving me that point of interest. So me adding up all this give me the reason why I took that sell. Okay, you can see that sell is okay, I'm gonna show you where I took the sell. So I wanted to see, I could have taken the sell higher after this candle closed, after this 4-hour candle closed. Okay, I could have taken the sell here, but there was no entry confirmation for me to just take it, and I can't just take it randomly. So if you see here, we had the fair value gap, because remember that is a 4-hour, that's 4-hour candle and 4-hour structure saying bearish. So we need 15 minutes to align to the whole thing. So those that are in my trading room, we didn't trade much this week. All right, we didn't trade much this week, so I just wanted to see things clear. All right, but they can testify to you that I always send this same 15-minute setup to them. Right, it's my bread and butter. So when you see this, and I've made video on that 15 minutes New York fair value gap, so you can go back to my video and watch it. It's the title it's 9:30 a.m. right on the okay. So anyways, before I lose you there, so we can see this fair value gap. Price didn't retrace back to this, so I looked for another one, right? Because if this disrespects, then everything is invalid now, right? If you disrespect, if 15 minutes start closing inside here, then it will become an inversion. That means they want to set price higher, and with the time that is happening, you just have to stay away. So this was my trade that I took, and I'm actually still holding till here, which I won't lie to you, I slept off after when price was around here. I just slept off because the time was already late. It was already late, and there's no reason for price to start pushing back up again. You just have to maintain that one direction to continue going down, or maybe price could just come back up and close somewhere here, which is fine. I'm just holding a runner, you understand? So anyways, so this was it. So what I would do is that what I did was 15 minutes, I still need to apply time frame alignment again. All right, you just need to be patient with this market, keep applying it. But trust me, this is not a 100% win rate method, right? But it's high probability trade. So if you see here, this was the fair value gap was from here. This was when price created the fair value gap. So if you look at here, you can see that we had the shifts, right? This is a market structure shift. Okay, this is a market structure shift. But what I'm paying attention to is the fair value gap. That's what I pay attention to. But if the market structure shift is there, that is more confluence for me. Okay, so you can see this was a market structure shift here. This was a market structure shift here, and I started taking my trades off this fair value gaps here to here. All right, I took my first entries here. Price pushed down a little bit and went back up, and I added more entries here, and my stop loss was top here. So if it takes me out with what I see here, then that means, what is that telling you? That's telling you we already have an inversion going up. So where I do take my entries are those levels whereby if they get disrespected, then nothing more. I'm done looking for the trades, right? That means that day is not for me, all right? Just like the other day, we're not gonna lie to you. There was this loss that I took here. I took a loss somewhere here. If you look at this, there's a huge fair value gap here. This one is huge. Okay, so when I dropped down on lower time frame, I actually took the trade. Okay, it was moving in my direction. I wanted to start taking my profit here. It was actually moving in my direction. I was already in profit. Then before I knew it, price started reversing for no reason. I don't know. Came back into profit, back up, you know. So until it became a loss. And see, after it took me out, what happened? Price will continue going up, but that doesn't mean I should jump into a buy, all right? So, but look at that level. Look at this level. Almost tapped this. Look at that level where I took my trade off from. That level can turn to a support, but I'm not trading. I don't trade that. I don't trade it exactly like that. You can see price almost tapped it before it continued going back up. Okay, so you can see from here, from where I took this one, price started dropping. And I wouldn't lie to you, I took most of my profit here, which, sorry about that. So I took most of my profit here and let some runners just run. Because again, with what happened here, I believe most of you would understand. When you're trading one strategy, the same strategy, right? And the market is somehow, and price do one thing, trust me, maybe the next day you might not have that confidence. You need to build your confidence back, which was one of the mistake that I made. You understand? Mistake that I made. So, but that is a part of the experience that I need to build. Okay? So I'm always telling you my thing so that you can understand that you're not in this alone. All right? Even the trade that I took here, this buy, I'm not gonna lie to you, the market took me out just with this week. And I was using a bigger lot size here and here. So after these two things happen in a row, I took the next buy again here, but now I had to reduce my lot size. I had to reduce it like very, very, very well. I don't know if that, okay, I had to reduce it very, very well. This is how I do my thing, you know, so that I can build back my confidence back again. So I don't see anything wrong with the trade that I took here because this was 15 minutes, but the only thing is that I didn't refine it, okay? I didn't refine it. I just took the trade here and price just sent this week to take my stop loss out. It took me out. Took me out from here. It took me out. So it took me out from here. This happened even on gold yesterday. So my final target was up here. Okay, so it took me out, but after it took me out, then I went on 5 minutes to refine this sweep because this became a sweep. Okay, so to refine the sweep. Okay, so if you want to know why I took this trade was coming from a fair value gap. From a 4-hour fair value gap was around here. So this was me refining that 4-hour fair value gap with 15 minutes. Okay, it's just the same thing that I do here. 4-hour refine on 15 minutes, then take 1 minute trade. Okay, so the only thing that was missing here was I didn't refine it on 1 minute. Be like, why am I gonna refine this? I should just take it, go up there. All right, so I didn't refine it and I paid for that, which is fine, you know. I'm just gonna get back into the market on Monday or Tuesday and get all this back, all right? But I'm not gonna chase it. So this was the trade, the major trades that I took during last week, right? So I took some buys here and there, you know, but these were the major trades that I took. Okay, so now what can we see on NASDAQ? Let me delete all this. Let's see what's, okay, no, sorry, don't have to delete everything. let's get back to 4 hour. Let's get back to 4 hour. So let's get back to 4 hour. So, okay, no, let's get to weekly first. Let me go to weekly. I want to see what price is actually doing. Okay, what price is actually doing is a really, really nice. Oof. Anyways, I wish this was a buy, man. I could have, I could have made a lot of banks on last week. But anyways, let's look at the weekly. Okay, for those of you that are still holding on to now, that are still watching to now, well done, well done. So if we look at the weekly here, okay, we can see that price didn't close above. Of course, it didn't close above it because last week closed like this, and the next week price moved here and went back. So one thing that you will notice is that on lower time frames, this happen a lot of time. Okay, let me show you something. It happen a lot of time. Sometimes when we have a low, okay, and price keep on pushing, then you see that last candle close like this. Trust me, most of the times, the next candle will just wick. It's just gonna be a wick. Okay, might just be a wick. Then price will continue going higher. Right? So this is definitely what happened. What is happening on the weekly candle? All right. But are we just gonna get into on Monday and start selling this? No, we're not gonna sell it. We will go with the 4 hour order flow. That is what we're gonna maintain. Okay, 4 hour order flow is really a cheat during the week. Like if you are bullish and you go with 4 hour, let's say 4 hour is bearish and you're getting into the week, and all you just have to do, you wait for 4 hour to turn bearish, just like this week that just happened. Let's say you were expecting this high to get swept, right? Let's say you were expecting it to get swept. As soon as it got swept, you can see that 4 hour turned bearish and it remained that bearish. Here, it was bullish, okay? But as soon as it turned bearish, that is telling you, okay, this market is ready to go down. It went from bullish to bearish. It's as simple as that. It happens every week, okay? So now you can see the weekly had this displacement. So now we just want to maintain that bearish order flow to see how far it wants to go. But again, if it start closing, if next week start closing below here, then and close bearish, that means we're gonna see a long-term sell on Nasdaq. Okay, this is already a first sign. This is already a first sign. Then, if we start seeing more candles, the next candle close bearish, then yeah. But looking at this, right? Don't forget, we have this fair value gap here. Okay, we have this fair value gap here. If price close below this fair value gap, what do you see? If we close below this fair value gap, it's already an inversion to send price lower. So this is what we're just going to monitor next week. You understand? Next week, I'm not going to rush. I'm not going to rush anything because I'm going to prepare myself for next month. Okay, let's look at this monthly candle. Yeah, I also need to pay attention to see how this monthly candle will close because it has done its job. The call out that I did, that I gave to you guys, telling you that this high would get taken, it's been taken. So now we just have to prepare ourselves for the next move, okay? While we wait for this candle to close. Because again, if this was lower time frame, let's say it's 5 minutes time frame, and you took your buy from somewhere here, and you want to take your buy to this level. After that buy is done, you wait, right? You wait for the next setup to form. So if we want to get a long-term direction again, we need to give the market some time, okay? Though we're trading high time frame, we can still catch some scalp here and there, but we need to give it some time for the months to close, months to end, and the candle close. Then, but for now, I'm just gonna leave this fair value gap here. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here because it will always remind me, okay, this is where if the weekly close below then it's going to be a long-term sell on NASDAQ. All right, NAS has been buying for a long time. So they might need a high time frame pullback, a big high time frame pullback, maybe 3 to 4 candles in a monthly candle or weekly candle. They need that to continue pushing price higher again, because this is NASDAQ. NASDAQ will never crash. It will never crash. All right, it might have some big pullback, and those pullback will be big. All right, so getting into next week, this is what I'm going to monitor. My final target for next week will be here. Okay, it's going to be here. I don't see these levels really holding price, but if they decide to hold price, but I really don't see that. Look at this move from here. Look at this move from here. For we to see price push back bullish, we need to see candle close above this. But what kind of move will that be? What kind of move will that be? That's not gonna be a nice move. You understand? That's not gonna be a nice move. So price will still push down further, and this is where I want it to get to. When it gets to here, then we can see what price really wants to do next. Okay, so I hope you guys learned a lot from this analysis and the review and my trade review that I show you. Okay, so for those of you that know, I mostly trade that 930 strategy that I've shared. All right, I trade it, but I just don't trade it blindly. Okay, I don't trade it blindly. I trade it with order flow. When it lines up with my order flow, then I can trade that. All right, and with my weekly direction and everything, it becomes high probability. You can see this last one that I took here. It was a 930 strategy. Okay, it was a 930 strategy. You can see I took it from here, and you can see that as soon as it's lining up with the weekly, we had a big move. Let's say you might have taken this and you hit a loss, which is fine. All right, if you lose this and win this, you still made some banks. A lot. You actually made a lot, because even if this, let's say your stop loss 26 or 30 something, right? And then now you catch all this. Come on bro. Or even if you don't catch all that, you decided to target this, okay, or maybe leave some runners. Anyways, we will see what the market have for us next week, but I've already told you my plans now. And remember, this is always for educational purpose only. I'm not a financial advisor, right? I still have my own financial advisor, because anything that I do, I still have to let him. Anything that I decide to do, I still have to let him know. So you should do the same, right? So please, guys, if you're not a subscriber yet, please do subscribe and like and share, so that other traders, beginners, advanced traders can also benefit from this. Okay. All right. Thanks for thanks for staying to this end. I will speak to you again next week.